Nathan Zegura, joined once again by the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, for this week's game preview presented by Ticketmaster. And coach, the 1-1 Bears, the 1-1 Browns. And for the Bears, they will be starting rookie quarterback Justin Fields. When you saw this kid coming out of Ohio State and some of the tape he's put out there, what challenges does a quarterback, again, a mobile quarterback, third straight week, present for our defense?
Yeah, mobile quarterbacks, man, they're really hard to defend because you may have the right coverage called and they hold the ball and they find a way to escape. And now you're in the scramble drill and you got to defend them for a very long time. The down is long when you're playing these mobile quarterbacks. He's a dynamic player. He was in college. You're seeing glimpses of it now in the pros. He can make all the throws. He can run a varying type of offense. They can put him in the gun and run RPOs. They can put him under center, run the keeper game. He can drop back. He can roll out. So I really think they have something that they can work with and show different looks to us. And then at the end of the day, when it doesn't work and he starts scrambling, we got to be sticky in coverage. And we got to be true to our rush lanes to try and get him on the ground.
The Bears bring pressure as well when you've got Khalil Mack and Quinn and Hicks up front. That's something they do very, very well. What have you seen from this defense and that front, which can get wide and really attack you on the edges, especially with Jed maybe ready, maybe not, although I thought Blake Hance did a nice job once he stepped in.
Yeah, it's a really good defense, and it's going to be a huge challenge for our offense. I think it's a really sound scheme. It's a scheme that I've seen in Chicago when I was with the Vikings all those years. I've seen this scheme many, many times from Coach Fangio, Coach Pagano. It's really, really sound, and they have good players. They got big guys up front. They got really good linebackers. They got good guys in the secondary. They understand the scheme. They play within the scheme, but it's a very, very physical group. You talk about Akeem Hicks, and you talk about Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Ogletree. These guys are physical. So we're going to have to match that physicality.
Coach at Dogs Go Woof, he's got a thought of how we're going to frustrate defense. He says, without divulging extensively, do you have packages moving forward utilizing both Chubb and Hunt in the backfield simultaneously? Both are good in pass pro and would give the entire team and staff a headache thinking about what's coming, on top of hopefully having OBJ back out wide.
Yeah, I think that really speaks to what we talk about all the time as being multiple. We do want to show multiple looks to the defense. And that can show itself in varying forms. It can be with a bunch of tight ends and spread them out. It can be everybody in tight. It can be multiple receivers with motions. We want to play with the linebackers and safeties' eyes, moving the motions around a little bit. So hopefully it manifests itself in a bunch of different ways. But I do understand the idea of getting two pretty good players on the field.
Coach, earlier in the show, we talked with Demetric Felton, and obviously probably got a chance to do some things last Sunday when Jarvis went down. When you see a guy make a play like that, next man up, we mentioned Hance earlier, Malcolm Smith, Demetric Felton. When your team has that mentality and then they step up and take advantage, what does that tell you about them, the coaching, and really the whole operation here?
Yeah, Nathan, that's something that we found out a lot last year with the next man up mentality. It has to be about who you are. It has to be part of your DNA. And I think it just speaks to the resilience of our football team. You mentioned the coaching staff. Demetric does a great job, and he's a self-starter, and I appreciate how hard he studies. But then it was great on the sideline during that game, talking through it with Coach O'Shea. Hey, let's run that screen again. Let's just put Demetric over there. Grab Demetric, coach them up on it. Obviously, he has to know it already, but just to prepare him to go out there and do it seamlessly and let his athleticism take over is another great point of how our staff, how our players work together to make sure that everybody's prepared, because in this NFL, you never know when your number is going to get called.
That preparation often leads to success, and we hope to see that again on Sunday against the Bears. Coach, thanks so much for the time, and best of luck.
Thanks, Nathan.